Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about the Flash movie. Let's get into it. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Till the End of the Line podcast. I am your boy, Juan G. And as you can see, I'm rocking it solo today. Fortunately, Kike couldn't make it. America Chavez actually stopped by the Avengers facility, and she took us on a little multiversal travel. And unfortunately, Kike got stuck. I think in like Earth 609, I think it was. But he did send out a communication to me, letting me know he's okay. So we're doing our best to get him back. He will be back soon, I promise. So for now, I'm going to hold it down. Talk about the Flash movie with you guys. But before we get into that, I do want to let you guys know, please, if you haven't already, stop by Raw Comics here in Chicago. Great little comic book shop owned by an amazing couple. They're awesome. Their address is 2512 West 47th Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60632. And if you can't make it to the store, they also have online available. They are at raw-comics.myshopify.com and also at raw-comics.square.site, and I will be putting up those links in the description below. So yeah, check them out. They got a lot of good stuff. I am growing my comic book collection right now. Just picked up a bunch of great comics. If you are following us on Instagram, you would see them on there. They also sell Funko Pops, all for a really good price, so please check them out. So today, rocking it solo. We're going to try to get through as best I can. I'm used to having somebody to bounce ideas off and stuff like that, so I guess you guys will fill that void today. So I'm going to start off with, I'm still going to do a question of the day, but instead of asking Kike, I'm going to ask you guys. All right, so my question of the day is, in keeping in the theme of the Flash movie, if you can go back in time and save one person, would you do it? And then if you want to tell me who that person is, go for it. So let me know in the comments if you would go back in time to save someone, or if you wouldn't, just let it be. I would love to hear your guys' opinions on that. So sign off in the comments, and I will do my best to answer every single one of you guys that comment. Me personally, it's a tough one, man, because if you guys have followed us from the beginning, you know I had a little brother that passed away, and I don't know. I think that going back, like Bruce said, it could just make things worse. And I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I wouldn't go back. I would just let what happen and just keep things the way they are. But that's my opinion. Love to hear what you guys think. Baby, you want to answer that question?
I would keep it the same.
You wouldn't go back either?
I wouldn't go back.
See, that's why I married her right there. We're here. All right. Any particular reason?
Well, one, because it's hurtful,
Mm-hmm.
and then if it's not even for that reason, if it's for another reason,
Mm-hmm.
what if it changes?
Right.
And I wouldn't want you to have these kids.
Right. Okay. So, all right. Fair enough. All right. I like it. I like that.
I love these brats.
Yeah. All right. So she agrees with me. She would not do it. But again, guys, please let me know what you guys think.
Maybe if it's for a lottery ticket. No.
Yeah. Right. Let's go back just to get a lottery ticket. Forget saving that person. All right. So let's get into it, huh? All right. So I understand why a lot of people dislike this movie. I get it. Me personally, I think it was a good movie. I don't think it was as bad as people are saying it is. I give it a solid 3 stones. And I know that's my lowest rating so far, but I don't think it was. What's that? Whatever. My wife says she's gonna divorce me now. Whatever's. Yeah, I don't think it was a bad movie, but I don't think it was like a great movie. You know what I mean? I think it was just a solid movie. It was just good. Wasn't good, wasn't bad. Just good. So let me start off by just talking about some of the things I did like about the movie. I really liked the comedy in it. I thought they did a decent job in the comedy. I was laughing out loud at a lot of parts. And they didn't try to force too much of the comedy. I feel like most of the comedy was pretty natural. There were some really cheesy really cheesy parts, but for the most part, I think they did a good job with it. I loved seeing Michael Keaton come back as Batman. That was probably my main reason of seeing this. Just the kid in me. He was my first Batman. So seeing him as an older Batman, I think he did a good job at it. I liked seeing his version of Batman just kicking ass.
Language.
I thought his fighting style was pretty close to the comics. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just I don't know if it's mainly for nostalgic reasons, but I thoroughly enjoyed seeing him as Batman. And I did. Speaking of Batmans, I did love the surprise cameo of George Clooney at the end. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was really cool to see him come back. Didn't expect it at all. I would have seen any other Batman come back before I would have thought it'd been him. With the obvious reasons of Val Kilmer, because he can't for medical reasons. But yeah, I really enjoyed seeing that, and I knew it was a different actor when he was on the phone with him because it didn't sound like Ben Affleck. I could tell that right away, but I couldn't pinpoint the voice just off that brief phone call. I was like, who is that? And it didn't even dawn on me to think George Clooney. Yeah. But it was a nice surprise. And then, I like that they kept it, pretty realistic in terms of like the language. Like Barry cusses in it. Yeah. Like when he sees George Clooney, he's like, who the fuck is this? Like I love that. That's my kind of comedy. I fucking love that shit. So I like that. The action was great. Action was really good. I did have mixed feelings about the Superman cameos. It was nice to see Christopher Reeves in, Superman. It was nice to see him in there. But as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I just felt like it was unnecessary. The majority of people going to see this movie know he's the OG Superman. Like it's there's no point in putting it in there. It's just like it kind of felt like clickbait in a way. Like you were putting it there just for like the older audience or so I don't know. And so it was like I had mixed feelings about it. And then shout out to Film Addicts Podcast, because when I guest on their episode, they had told me about a Superman that never was, because they stopped it from becoming a movie. It was the Nicolas Cage Superman. And when they first told me this, I thought they were just messing with me. But then they actually sent me pictures, and it's just all kinds of no. Nick Cage, I'm glad they didn't go through with it. And this movie, they put him in there. It was 100% CGI, of course. He didn't have anything to do with the film. I'm pretty sure he wasn't on set at all. Like, they 100% CGI'd it. Sure, he got paid for it for his likeness, but and of course Christopher Reeve family, they had to give their okay for them to even put him in the movie. So I mean, if it's okay with them, who are we to say that it's not? You know what I mean? So but I just felt like that was really unnecessary. Like, you already had the storyline of the Flash dealing with everything and seeing the different Batman, but I don't know, I felt like it was unnecessary. I mean, it was cool to see at first, but that's just my opinion on it. But I do want to say the best part of this film, hands down, is Sasha Calle, Supergirl. Her performance was absolutely phenomenal. I am so glad that they chose her to be Supergirl. It was a 100% the right choice, picking her to play Supergirl. I'm really excited to see what the future holds for her. I'm pretty sure she's going to be Supergirl in upcoming films, in the DCU. I don't see why not. She just nailed it on every aspect. She looked great in the costume. The costume looked awesome. I thought it was great. She really gave that emotion when she needed to. You felt that pain. And this is her first big motion picture, believe it or not. Yeah, It was her first big motion picture. Yeah, you wouldn't have guessed it. Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think that just speaks volumes to the type of actress she is, where she just puts her all into that performance, and I felt those emotions she had. Yeah, I felt it. I thought she's gonna be. I think she has a bright future in especially in the action genre. But yeah, absolutely. And then again, I love it even more because she's a Latina. So I mean, just represent. I'm loving it. Yeah, her last name's Calle, babe. Street. Like, come on now. But yeah, she. I'll show you the video of her getting the job, finding out that she's Supergirl. It's really sweet. Like, she cries. It's awesome. Yeah, I think I saw it on Instagram, but I think it was from. I think Film Addicts is the one that I think they shared it, and that's how I saw it. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what else she has in store, especially in DCU. But she's got a fan for life in me. But yeah, so those are the things I did like about the film. Now let's move on to the things I did not like. So the reason it stopped at 3 stones for me. Gotta talk about the CGI was ass. I mean, what the hell? And especially coming from the WB, like, you guys got money. What the hell went wrong here? Like, what got me was the parts it was really bad was when it was the other Barry. You could, when the 2 Barrys were on screen, you could clearly see which one was CGI. Like, the mouth moved weird. Like, it almost looked like he didn't have teeth at certain parts. It was just like, what the hell's going on? I mean, Lindsay Lohan did it better in Parent Trap, and that was in the 90s. The technology wasn't even half what it is now. Like, come on, really? You're going to let the Parent Trap beat you out in split screening and CGI? Like, come on, guys. They just really dropped the ball. And in no way am I, no disrespect to the people that worked on it. I'm sure they gave it their all and did what they could with what they had, but I felt like the CGI being that bad is really what hurt this film. Had it been better, I think it would have done better, and I think people would have enjoyed it more. But that's just something you can't get past especially and not only a comic book film, but a film that has to do with a lot of CGI and a lot of action and a lot of things that require CGI,
That's the reason for me. It would have been
Yeah.
6 stone.
Oh, really? Would have been 6 stones for you?
Yeah, I made it. So
Stopped it? Okay. All right. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, another thing I didn't like is they tried to mix comedy with tragedy a little bit too much. Like, I felt like it was kind of forced in this film. And I think I think they did that because, I mean, the Flashpoint, series is definitely one of the most tragic things in DCU, of course, and then Flash has always been one of the more comedic superheroes because with his quips and stuff like that. But I felt like in this film it was a little bit too forced. Like, they tried to capitalize on James Gunn's brilliance with the Guardians, where he seamlessly mixed tragedy with comedy in all 3 of those films, and I think they just tried to capitalize on that, but nobody could do it as good as the great James Gunn. So I mean, this is just proof of that. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure they did the best that they could, but they really just missed the mark in this film with the CGI. You didn't get that? For me, that's all I could focus on. It's in regards to that. What, the CGI was bugging you so much? That's hilarious. And I'm sure I would have liked it. I would have liked the film more, and I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree with me, and probably is the main reason that a lot of the fans didn't like the film and why it's not doing well is because I would have preferred the storyline to be closer to the Flashpoint storyline in the comics. I feel like if it was closer to that, the film would have done better. The story would have been a lot better. People would have been more engaged in it. If Flash would have gone back and it would have been Thomas Wayne instead of an older Bruce Wayne, I think the story would have been better. I mean, you could see it in the Flashpoint Paradox, the Flash Flashpoint Paradox. I just watched it last night. It's one of the best animated films I've ever seen. And again, shout out to Film Addicts. They're the ones who after I listened to their Flash episode, they really are great at painting a picture. Because while watching the film, I literally felt like I had seen it already because of listening to them. And I'm glad I did listen to them because they helped me understand what was happening in the film a lot better. Like I knew why that was happening and stuff like that. So I think if the film would have been just been closer to the comics in that regard, I think it would have done a lot better. And I think it would have been a much better film. And I mean, I would have just loved to have seen Thomas Wayne being, Batman in live action. I hope we get that one day. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who played Thomas Wayne in I think it was the Batman vs Superman film. He had an interview with our buddy at CK Comedy at comicbook.com where he kind of jokingly said that Michael Keaton stole his gig because he was totally down to come back and reprise his role as Thomas Wayne and be Batman in the Flash movie. I know I would have loved that. I am a giant fan of Jeffrey D. Morgan. I think he can do no wrong. He's just an amazing actor. I love him in everything I've seen him in. So yeah, I thought that was really funny when he's like that Michael Keaton's own gig because that's not the first time that's happened. If you guys know, he was also the Vulture in the Spider-Man film, and I don't know if you know, but my boy John Leguizamo, my idol, he was actually the original actor that was supposed to play the Vulture, but then Michael Keaton, I guess whatever he was working on wrapped or something or fell through, and he was like, hey, you know what, I want to come back and I'll do the Vulture. And so then they went to John Leguizamo, was like, hey, are you okay with that, or we can make you a different character? And John Leguizamo was like, no. He goes, I'm not the Vulture, I don't want to be in it. And hell no, because they were gonna give him like some smaller role, and it was but yeah, it was kind of messed up. I mean, I'm sure Michael Keaton, had no idea that was happening, and I doubt that he would have, agreed to come back had he known. And I think he did a great job as Vulture, but I personally, I think I would have loved to see John Leguizamo as Vulture. But that I might be biased just because he's one of my idols. But yeah, so.
I don't think he would have been good as the Vulture.
You don't think he would have been good as Vulture?
As good as I like him as an actor and everything, like everything that he's played in,
Mm-hmm.
and all that.
Yeah, well, that's why.
I think the Vulture, who they picked, was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, because you liked him as what was I forget the character's name, but the clown in Spawn. He played the clown in Spawn.
Yeah.
You don't think that he could have brought, I don't know, a different like charisma to the Vulture, a more devious like charisma? I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
No,
No. I think they picked good.
I think he would have been surprised at his performance as Vulture. I think he would have knocked it out of the park.
Let me ask you this. So,
Yeah.
in the movie, when the first time that he was going back
Mm-hmm.
to the past, did you, that purple guy
Mm-hmm.
that knocked him out,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden he's in front of his house?
Yeah.
Did you know that was Barry?
Yeah.
You knew, right?
Yeah, and I knew that Dark Flash was Barry. Yeah.
Really?
Because, from the TV show, too. The TV show did it, too. Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
Right. Yeah, you stopped watching the TV show. But, yeah, that's well known that
It was a little corny.
yeah, I know. It got super cheesy after a few seasons.
And I love DC, but
Yeah. But, yeah, it's well known that Dark Flash is Barry.
why would have known?
It's him.
I kept going with it.
Yeah, it's basically Dark Flash is basically Barry just going unhinged and losing it, and that's the result is he becomes Dark Flash. Kind of the same way in the Flashpoint paradox that Martha Wayne becomes Joker when Bruce dies. She loses it. She loses it and becomes Joker. It's kind of that same kind of thing. What else? I think those are really the only things that come to mind that I didn't like. Everything else is great. Like I said, I think it's a solid film, guys. I try not to pay too much attention to critics because I said it once and I'll say it again. I've gone to see movies that the critics said was a great movie. I've gone to see it and I thought it was garbage. But then on the other hand, I've gone to see films that critics said was a bad movie and I really liked it. So I try not to pay too much attention to critics just because they're looking at they're looking at films more analytical, and I don't know. That's not the way I like to see movies. I pay more attention to the audience score. I think like the the audience score is really what matters, because that's really the consensus of how the movie's doing and how people are receiving the movie. So if you're gonna pay attention to anything, pay attention to that. I feel like that's the way to go. But I mean, I would, unless you have like A-list or something where you can see 3 movies for free a week. I would wait till Blu-ray or streaming. I think it's worth a watch. Absolutely is, but if you don't mind waiting, I would wait, unless you're a big Flash fan like I am. He's my favorite DC superhero. So and that might be the reason why I enjoyed it so much. Because at the end of the day, it still is a Flash film. So, but yeah, I mean, my recommendation: see it, guys. See it at least once, just to say you've seen it. I mean, what's 2.5 hours of your life? I mean, you're with me for an hour. But yeah. So I mean, let me know what you guys think. If you guys seen it and you guys enjoyed it, let me know why you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, let me know why you didn't enjoy it. I love to hear what you guys think. A big enjoyment of mine in this podcast is hearing from you guys. It really means the world to me and to Kike. So yeah. So again, those are my thoughts on the film. My wife loves it. I like it. Think it's worth a watch for sure. I'm definitely excited for the DCU and what's to come. The next big thing is the Blue Beetle. I cannot tell you how freaking excited I am for this film. I don't think I've been this excited probably since Guardians came out. I know that wasn't that long ago, but still. I'm super pumped about this film. Just everything about it. It looks amazing. Pumped to see George Lopez in it, which is a nice surprise. He's playing the uncle, the eccentric uncle. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, super excited. Cannot wait. So stay tuned for that episode. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for me today. Hopefully we get Kike back soon. I'm gonna work hard on that. But until then, even though he's not here with me, I'm still with you, Kike, to the end of the line. Thanks, guys.